Well, you're always on top of them in practice. Game's different. I sort of liken it to, when you grew up playing sports and your dad was on the field and he was yelling at you and telling you where to go. Our effort wasn't the biggest problem. Our readiness to play was the biggest problem at Creighton. And, we'll find out if we fix things on Saturday.
As you face Butler, Keelan Martin has changed a lot in the last 5 weeks, has really become a big force for them. What have you seen from him as you've watched film and preparations?
Well, he's playing as well as any guard/forward in our league. You give him a lot of credit because he's playing with a ton of confidence. He's as good of a pull-up jump shooter as there is in our conference. He can rise up and get his ball to a level where guards have a difficulty challenging it. And, he can hit contested shots from 15 to 17. He's shooting the ball well from 3. He's playing in a system that allows him to get out on the break because they're playing very fast. Roosevelt is a terrific advanced passer, so they're turning defense into offense, and he's a recipient of a lot of times. And he's offensive rebounding as well. So a lot of times when you have guys that, have 30-plus type games in terms of point production, they don't do it one particular way. They're getting drives to the basket, they're getting pull-ups, they're getting to the foul line, they're hitting threes, and that's exactly what Keelan's doing, and he's doing it at a very high level.
Coach, you're playing teams who are in a lot of ways tournament desperate this week. For your team, you guys are in a great spot. Is it tough mentally to kind of get your team?
I don't think we're in a great spot. I mean, like nothing's in cement. They haven't done the selection shows, that I'm aware of. So we need to play with the same desperation. The score is 0-0, and we need to be ready to play. Period.
Is that a conversation you've had to have with them this week at all?
No. That's just how we prepare.
Is there something different about the Butler game just because of the history of the rivalry and playing at Hinkle in front of all their,
I mean, it's as good of a venue as there is in college basketball. And, I love, playing there in the afternoon as well. The sun sort of shines through the windows, and, you have the raised floor, and it just it has a really old feel to it, and the crowds are always great. The games have been, for the most part, close. And, it's just it's a great place to play. And, we're playing a really good team, a team that's on a bit of a roll. And every game in this conference, as you know, matters and is very tough.
How much is all season you commented on how impressed you've been with the effort that you guys put forth in practice on a day-to-day basis. Are you more concerned or troubled at all that you see a lack of effort at this part of the season as we kind of head this March?
Maybe I forgot what I said. I didn't think that we had a lack of effort. I thought we had a lack of focus. I didn't think we were ready to play. We didn't communicate. I guess you could lump that into lack of effort, but for the most part, our guys have done a great job. This is a very difficult league. We played a team that's tough to beat on the road. We didn't play our best, but we learned very early on in this league 2 years ago that you have to be able to look forward and worry about your next challenge, your next opponent, and not wallow in a tough loss. We took it, and we have to learn from it and move forward.
How much do you embrace the chance just to kind of show the nations that you guys are on national TV on Saturday what this Xavier team is all about this season?
Honestly, Jimmy, I don't even think about that. We feel like every game's on national television. FS1 does a terrific job covering our league. You can still watch it in California. And so, I'm sure there's a few more thousand people watching it on Sunday or Saturday, but that doesn't mean diddly-poo to me.
When you're looking for your team to respond, what are you looking for early on, though? Because they responded so well this season after losses. What do you want to see early on at Butler on Saturday?
Being ready to play, being committed to the way that we want them to play, being a team that attacks rather that's on their heels, that understands the game plan going in, and not just understands it, but carries it out in the way that we expect. And that's that's a telltale sign if our team's ready to play. You know, for instance, we talked about at Creighton not giving up advanced pass threes because of our communication. And we had 2 or 3 instances in the first 4 minutes where they got an advanced pass three, and it was simply because of lack of communication. It wasn't because they had an advantage in numbers. It wasn't a 3-on-1. We had 4 guys back. They had 4 guys pushing it, and we couldn't get matched up. You know, and that's, you know, that was our problem against Creighton, amongst others.
Do you get the sense that they've learned from their mistakes against Creighton? Do you think they've learned from practice?
I sure hope so. You know, but the proof will be in the pudding. You know, the proof will be on Saturday. You know, we're going to correct it as hard as we can in practice, and now we have to be able to do our job on Saturday and carry that out.
The perimeter shooting obviously was not good against Creighton, but it was an anomaly in the season. Is that something that you have to focus on in practice, or is it something the guys just, you know, work on their own?
Well, the crazy thing was we probably shot more in their building than we had in any away venue that we've played in this year. You know, we got there the night before. We spent an hour, both ends of the floor, getting a ton of shots. We didn't run through our set plays. You know, we had already done that back in Cincinnati. The day of the game, we had a shoot around. We got a ton of shots. You know, we shot it too early in possessions, but how many would we shoot?
1 for 21.
We had 21 of them. I mean, not all 21 of them were bad threes. You know, there were a handful that were bad. There were some other ones where we just have to make the shot. Thanks.